bit based on your experience, what are some of the successful strategies that youth-led organizations have used to secure funding? And then if you have like some examples regarding the global south would be great, but we can leave it in general as well too. So
okay, sure.
Mhm.
And just, I know everyone in this room likely has some experience with fundraising and trying to access funding. So I encourage you to add your comments, thoughts, questions, resources in the chat. So I want to acknowledge fundraising can be really hard, confusing, and even disheartening at times. My first role in my early 20s was as a fundraiser at a community organization. And so I really want to emphasize how important it is as youth-led organizations to recognize your power, to reach communities, to mobilize your peers and influence the change you want to see. And so being able to share your vision and tell that story is really powerful, and really getting clear on what are the challenges you're addressing and the strategies you're proposing to overcome them within your community. And so I think one thing we were discussing and thinking about this call is you really do have unique strengths as grassroots organizations, as youth-led organizations, because you can do what donors can't do. Donors need you. They need you for whatever missions or goals they have to create social change in the world. They absolutely cannot do it. It is only you and thousands of other community organizations across the world and communities coming together that are really going to make change happen. And that's something I really wish I knew as a young person. I really didn't feel that way going into a lot of conversations with donors or when I was writing grants. So I hope as one thing you can take away today is really recognizing how you are an expert. How issues are impacting your community. You understand how maybe different political contexts are impacting young people. You know how social norms are impacting young people's experiences. And if you can talk about that in really authentic ways, it's a great way to get visibility. And you might, LinkedIn lets you write articles now, maybe it's a blog or Twitter, speaking opportunities, or I think maybe even on KujaLink and different forum spaces there might be ways to highlight issues that you're working on, what you're hearing that's happening, emerging trends, and really in those spaces where funders and INGOs might see them. And then I encourage you to use that to see how you can spark conversations that can then maybe lead to relationships, because I think fundraising and resourcing this work is ultimately about relationships. And so it might be for grant funding, it might be the people who are actually doing the work, connections to allies,